All right, good evening.
All right, good evening. I am Heidi Mercer. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning for Lake Orion Community Schools, and I'm also proud to be a Lake Orion Optimist Club member. So welcome this evening to the Lake Orion Optimist 4th Grade Recognition Awards. Tonight is a night where we celebrate student character. Each of these 4th graders were chosen by their teachers for who they are and what they represent each and every day. As parents and family, you should be very proud to have your child honored. And students, tonight is about you. Congratulations. I would like to introduce several people this evening. First, from the Lake Orion Optimist Club. We have Sandy McLeod, Drew Tollerton, also principal of Orion Oaks, Julie Monroe, who was a counselor at Oakview Middle School. Jason Larson is our MC tonight, and he is assistant principal at Oakview Middle School. And Jonathan Forrest, Optimist Club member. And then also in the back, we have our principals, Ms. Jen Goethals, Mr. Ken Noose, Mr. Rob Murray, and Mr. Adam Weldon. This evening, Mr. Don Brose, our Optimist president, could not be here. He is ill this evening, so he apologizes. This is one of his favorite events as well, so he's with us in spirit tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Mr. Larson to the podium, and he is going to kick off our event this evening.
Our first principal and school representative will be Mr. Ken Noose from Blanche Sims Elementary.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for coming. I am the very honored principal of Blanche Sims Elementary. Tonight is a big deal. I don't know if everybody realizes that every teacher had to pick, didn't have to, could pick one person for this. And that's why I say this is such a big deal, because as a school principal, we count on kids to set the example. We can say all the great things we want as principals, but we count on the kids to do it and lead by example. These kids that we're honoring today just aren't good kids, they're leaders. They have shown the right way to do things by living it, by being a living example. And every school counts on these students to have a great year and to set that example for everyone else. And I am very honored today to honor 3 wonderful students from Blanche Sims. I'd like to call up our 4th grade teachers, Mrs. Allison Webb, Dave Stafford, and Kristen Malcasian. You guys can all come on up here, stand right over here. And I'm going to turn it over to them to recognize our wonderful students. Allison Webb. Yep.
Okay, Mia, come on up. Good evening, everybody. I am very honored tonight to represent and be Mia's teacher for 4th grade at Blanche Sims Elementary. She was nominated by her classmates. They all wrote something about students, and overwhelmingly, Mia was chosen by her classmates. And here are just a few of the things that they stated. Mia is the most optimistic and always keeps a growth mindset. Mia will try and try again and doesn't give up. I think Mia shows optimism because she comes to school with a smile on her face and is ready to try new challenges. She thinks positive on everything. I think Mia is very optimistic because I saw in math that she had a very good attitude for something, and she saw someone was struggling and helped them. And another comment was, I think Mia should win because she does not give up, she is nice to others, and always tries her best. So Mia's classmates obviously agree that she is special, and so do I. She's an amazing role model and leader in our classroom. She's a member of student council, and she's just an amazing student and friend. She sets a good example with her positive attitude and persistence, and she is so willing to improve herself every single day, which is wonderful to see. She asks questions, she participates, she contributes daily in our classroom, and as all of her classmates have mentioned, you are kind and you are helpful to others. And as one other student said, she is always willing to help others around her and always has a smile on her face, and that's why we nominate Mia for the Optimist Award.
And I am nominating Ben Hendricks for recognition because he sets a great example for all students. He goes above and beyond what's asked each and every day with no complaints. When he faces challenges in his learning, he always perseveres, the smile never leaving his face. Ben has shown a growth mindset. When I asked the class to reflect on who was the most optimistic, Ben's name came up often. Overall, students said Ben takes risks, never gives up, stays positive, and learns from his mistakes. He has always had a positive attitude and is willing to help anyone. All of his hard work is greatly appreciated. His enthusiasm, optimism, and willingness to learn are only a few reasons why he's being nominated for recognition. Nice job.
Hi, I'm Dave Stafford. I nominated Maddox here for recognition because of what an outstanding person and student he is. As a student, he always gives 100% no matter what the task. The focus of his learning is truly to understand new concepts and to master them. When he faces challenges to his learning, he's resilient, persistent. When he knows someone else is struggling, he's always there to offer help. At Blaine Sims, as the others have said, we focused on the 7 habits and having a growth mindset. I asked students who they feel best exhibit these habits in their everyday lives, and his name was coming up all the time. The common theme from all of them is that Maddox always thinks win-win. That's one of, in the hallway, I think that's his motto, think win-win. He looks on the bright side of things and always brings a positive attitude to his entire day. We at Blaine Sims are very lucky to have him, and that's why we nominated him for the Optimist Award.
Our next school representative will be Carpenter Elementary by Mr. Adam Weldon, Principal.
Good evening. Very happy to be here tonight and glad to be a part of being able to recognize these 4 outstanding students from Carpenter Elementary. So without further ado, let me call up to the podium here our 3 teachers, Ms. Gretchen Hines, Ms. Teresa West, and Mrs. Kristen Brown.
Good evening. My name is Gretchen Hines, and I'm a 4th grade teacher at Carpenter Elementary. As a class, we nominated Walter because he exemplifies so many of the character traits of Carpenter's Positivity Project and traits of an optimist as defined in the nomination form. Walter shows leadership in and out of the classroom. He shows responsibility and selflessness. He is always willing to help a student in need, a teacher needing an extra hand, and those less fortunate than him. Students often give Walter a P2 shout out for his teamwork and leadership skills. He is often found in the classroom picking up after those who have left their messes behind. He's always the first one down to the carpet, ready to be learning. He is selfless and always puts others' needs ahead of his own. He befriends those who are needing a friend and offers help even when it is not sought out by a peer. Walter has an incredible sense of integrity. I'm not sure he could do wrong even if he tried. Walter has a great sense of creativity as well, which definitely shined during our Halloween parade when he showed up as a Jumbotron with an iPad screen taped to him, recording the entire parade for us to all watch and enjoy later. When I first thought of who was worthy of this year's Optimist Club Youth Appreciation Award, Walter immediately came to mind. However, I always put the nomination out to the class for their voice to be heard. Walter came out on top. My gut was right. So now here he stands in front of you, the 2019 Youth Appreciation Award winner from Carpenter Elementary, Room 106, as picked by his peers and teacher. Congratulations, Walter.
Good evening. My name is Teresa West, and I'm a 4-5 teacher at Carpenter. And this year was very challenging trying to select one of my 4th graders. So I opened it up to the students, and we first reviewed the Optimist Creed and pulled out some key traits. The students and I decided an optimist is someone who is positive, kind, a good friend, always puts forth his or her best effort, and learns from his or her mistakes. Then my students each nominated one student, identified the traits the student had, and provided evidence for their reasoning. After reading all the students' nomination, it was clear that the students and I both thought Tyler Mullen deserved this nomination. Here's what some of the students had to say. Sarah wrote, "One time I wasn't feeling good, and he gave me a compliment. It made me feel so much better." At recess, when someone wants to join us, he welcomes them with open hands, wrote Griffin. Landon wrote, "Tyler makes me feel like I have something good in me. He always makes me feel better so I can do the same to others." He isn't self-centered, he cares about others before himself, wrote Aiden. These are wonderful statements from his students, but one of the things that I think, or the trait that I think makes him most deserving, is how he inspires others. Kids want to be his friend, and they want to do better, and they are better because of him. When we were doing our nominations, one student stood out to me. The student instantly said he knew who he was going to nominate. He started writing furiously and wrote 2 pages, front and back. I couldn't wait to read what he had to say, because this was a student who needed redirection to be on task and focused during writing, a student who usually wrote the absolute minimum, a student that I had worked with on producing quality work and writing his ideas in an organized fashion with elaboration. His piece was amazing. He wrote a thoughtful, persuasive essay that was legible, organized, included elaboration with multiple pieces of evidence to receive. Can you tell what I'm teaching? And wrote with voice. It was by far the best piece I had read by him in the past 2 years. Tyler did something I struggled to do. He inspired the student and brought out the best in him because of the person Tyler is. My class and I are so happy and lucky that we've had Tyler in our classroom community. I'm honored to recognize him here today on behalf of our class.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Broth, and I teach at Carpenter 4th grade. I am speaking on behalf of Mrs. Lawrence, who is not able to be here tonight. She nominated Miss Jolie Irving, and I'm just so excited that I get to be able to talk about Miss Jolie tonight. This is what Mrs. Lawrence said. "I nominated Jolie for this award because she truly approaches every situation with a smile on her face. No matter the task at hand, I can count on Jolie to accept the challenge, all while being supportive and helpful to her peers. Jolie demonstrates great independence and responsibility in the classroom. She is always on top of her classroom job and willing to lend a helping hand where it is needed. Jolie shows that she is a wonderful friend by including people that are left out or lifting them up when they are down. Jolie's positivity is contagious, and that's what makes her a wonderful person to be around. I am so lucky that Jolie was a student of mine this year. Great job, Jolie. Congratulations. This is Miss Elise Avey, and I am honored to nominate Elise. She is in my classroom at Carpenter Elementary, 4th grade. I have had the true pleasure of being Elise's teacher this school year. From the beginning, I knew Elise was special. She came into school that first week with a smile on her face and following our rules, procedures, and routines like a true leader. She went out of her way to be kind to others, and still always is, and helped students even when they weren't asking for help. The more I got to know Elise, the more I realized that this young lady fit the true description of what it means to be an optimist. Elise is such a hard worker, even when she is working around others that could potentially disrupt her focus. Elise continues to complete the tasks that she is determined to accomplish. Elise instantly makes others feel good about themselves. She is always asking them questions about their life and always compliments others of their successes without ever expecting it in return. Elise always listens to others' ideas and compliments their suggestions. I had my students write essays, kind of like Teresa, about who they thought was the ultimate optimist in our class and why, and so many chose Elise. Some of the things that they said were, Elise is always smiling and cheering up other people's days. Another said, whenever I'm sad, she always asks me if I'm okay. And I could share many more examples. Elise strives for excellence and sets goals that she is determined to accomplish. She is a top-notch student and always looks for ways to challenge herself to do her personal best. Elise always looks at every opportunity as a learning experience. She also holds those high expectations for herself in her outside school activities. She's a very disciplined figure skater. Outside of school, she practices 3 days a week for 2 to 3 hours each day. Elise is going to be successful in anything she does. She doesn't make time for the negative. Instead, she focuses on the positive and isn't afraid to take chances to better herself and others. Congratulations, Elise. I'm so proud.
I have to admit something. I go to a lot of assemblies, high school, middle school. I really like this elementary assembly, especially the Optimist assembly, because I can tell where all these optimistic children come from. Parents, you're killing me. You look so happy. I love it. Enough for the sidebar, though. Okay. Our next presenter will be from Orion Oaks Elementary. It is Mr. Drew Tollerton, principal.
Right, well, on behalf of the entire, the podium's on wheels. On behalf of the entire Orion Oaks staff, very excited tonight to be able to honor some of our students and welcome our teachers here. We have our 4th grade teachers here who I'll invite up in a moment. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Lisa Jones and Mrs. Sarah Mutter, who are here tonight. And at this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Sergani, Ms. LeGros, and Mrs. Robertson up.
I'm Francie Robertson, and this is my nominee, Skylar Sims. I am nominating Skylar Sims for this recognition because she is an outstanding role model and leader to others. Skylar is a constant ray of sunshine, as you can see right now, and exudes optimism every day. And she's the kind of person that can light up a room even on the greatest of days. And her classmates would agree with her, or with me. Skylar has enthusiasm and a passion for learning. She truly embraces the work and wants to do well. She accepts and uses feedback she receives and is always trying to improve. And I am confident that Skylar will do well with whatever she chooses to do now and in the future. She's a kind and caring girl, and she's a great friend to others and is always willing to help her peers. She recognizes when someone's feeling upset and will go out of her way to make that person feel better. And this includes her teacher. She is one of the best hug givers I have ever had in my life, I think. She deserves recognition for all of her hard work and dedication that she has shown in and out of the classroom. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Jessica LeGros, and I'm lucky enough to have Gianna Mascarelli here with me tonight. She is an amazing young lady, always walks into school with a smile and a positive attitude, very comfortable with the person that she is, and extremely thoughtful in everything that she does. She's kind to everyone and goes out of her way to help others. Gianna leads by example. Other students around her step up because of her positive influence. She has a magnetic personality that makes others want to be around her. She has been a mentor to a kindergarten student this year and also served as an MC during our weekly school assemblies here at school. Gianna's positive attitude also influences her academics. She puts her best effort into every assignment she does. I especially remember when we were working on area perimeter, wasn't it? Yeah, so she went home and asked her parents, can you please give me extra practice? And then came into school and showed me all that she had worked on when she was at home. Gianna is a perfect representative of what it means to be optimistic. I'm very proud to be her teacher and feel very blessed to have her in our class this year. She's been a great role model and a great friend.
Good evening. I'm Sue Sardani, and I am just absolutely delighted today to introduce you all to Chloe Glarden, one of my favorite people. I actually first met Chloe when she was in 3rd grade because our paths crossed every day, and we started off with some shy hellos and nods, and by the end of the year we were having short conversations. So I was absolutely delighted to find out that Chloe was on my class list for this year. As a teacher, she is the child you always want to come to your class because she's extremely hardworking. She's polite. She's extremely helpful. Anything that needs to be done in the classroom. It's just been a dream to work with her. Chloe is very friendly, and she is outgoing, and she has made tremendous academic and social growth. As a student with autism, sometimes Chloe knows she has some challenges in life. That does not stop this girl. This girl is one of the hardest working students I have, and she is very involved in our school. She's a member of our peer-to-peer class. She's a 1st grade reading mentor with our buddies. And when we had our Orion Day of service, she was one of the primary greeters who, during lunchtime when we fed the firefighters and the police officers, Chloe took it upon herself with a friend to go around and make each one of them feel welcome during our lunch period. So I'm going to get all teary now. Just to say, Chloe has just been a dream to have, and I have learned as much from her as I hope she has learned from me.
I get the chance tonight to speak on behalf of our fourth grade teacher, Emma Palujai, who could not be here. It's her son's birthday, so she's at home celebrating little Marty's 3rd birthday. But she gave me very strict instructions and a very specific, those of you who know Emma know. But I am very honored and excited tonight to speak on behalf of Mrs. Palujai and to introduce Rosie Wagner as our 4th Optimist Club recipient. And I'll read a few words. I would say picture Mrs. Palujai, but that's a little weird. So I'll just read. Yeah. Rosie is such an extraordinary person. She is kind, respectful, caring, responsible, smart, helpful, and positive. She is the epitome of an optimist student. She comes into school every day with a positive attitude and a smile on her face. Rosie is kind to everyone she encounters, and I have never heard a negative word come out of her mouth. She avoids drama, gets along with everyone in class, and goes above and beyond each day to be a great student and leader. For example, she started a garden club last year with her classmates and helped clean up and plant flowers in her school gardens. She also raised money to help animal shelters by selling hot cocoa at parent-teacher conferences this year. Lastly, she is participating in Girls on the Run for the second time this year, where she trains for a 5K while being inspired to lead joyful, healthy, and confident lives. I feel so honored that I've had the opportunity to be her teacher and coach for the past 2 years. I am so proud of Rosie, and I know she will continue accomplishing many amazing things in her life. And I can say from personal experience that there has not been a single day that has gone by this year where Rosie has not come up and given me a hug and the biggest smile in the world and absolutely made my day. So Rosie, congratulations.
Mrs. Smith is unable to be here tonight, so representing Pig Creek Elementary is Weber Elementary Principal Jen Goethals.
Good evening. Ms. Smith apologizes for not being here. She's watching her daughter do, I think, state gymnastics, so she's excited to be with her. So I'm going to introduce Ms. Erin Ferment, and she's going to introduce her four students from Pig Creek. Come on up, guys.
All right. I am Mrs. Ferment, and I am representing our 4th grade team here. So Miss Stella, right here, come stand with me. On behalf of Mrs. Cassidy, I would like to present Stella Bell as her Optimist winner. Stella is a phenomenal 4th grader. She consistently serves as a role model in the classroom and is dedicated to being a kind and helpful friend to others. She is an active participant in the classroom and brings a positive attitude to class each and every day. She goes above and beyond and works to help others reach their goals as well. Not only is Stella a role model in the classroom, but she is also involved in activities inside and out of school as well. Between practices and competitions, Stella dedicates many hours of each week to dance. At Pink Creek, Stella was invited to be a part of our HOT program. This program, helping our peers, allows older students the opportunity to work with some of Pink Creek's youngest learners. She is also on the Green Patrol. Despite her level of commitment in and out of school, she continues to bring an admirable work ethic and her greatest effort in the classroom every day. We are so lucky to have Stella. Again, it is my privilege to recognize Kendall Glass for Mrs. Veter's Optimist Award. Kendall is an amazing 4th grade student at Pink Creek Elementary. Over the year, Kendall has been a special role model in her classroom. Kendall has shown great strength and perseverance in her academics. Kendall is also showing accomplishments outside of the classroom on her gymnastics team as well. In the classroom, Kendall is an amazing volunteer. She is always willing to participate in class and offer her ideas. Kendall will ask questions when she does not understand something. Kendall will also do extra work until she feels comfortable with the material. This enthusiasm for learning is one of the reasons she has been nominated. Kendall is a shining star in her classroom. She always has a smile on her face, and she gives 110% every day. Great job, Kendall. I would like to present Alyssa Johnson for Mrs. Perkins Optimist Award winner. Alyssa Johnson is an all-around great girl. She
She takes learning very seriously and is always interested in doing her very best. She is also a model student and a self-starter. She tries to live by the pillars of character each and every day and sets a great example for her peers and other students in the building. Alyssa shows strong character. She is a good friend to others, speaking kindly and respectfully to students and adults. She often enjoys working and collaborating with friends. I can always depend on Alyssa to be making responsible choices. Each day she brings positive attitude and a friendly smile to share. These reasons and more are why I chose to nominate Alyssa Johnson for our classroom's Optimist winner. On behalf of our Paint Creek family and myself, Mrs. Ferment, it is my privilege to honor Sophia Bordiz for the 4th grade Optimist Youth Appreciation Award. Sophia has a heart of gold. Her generosity and compassion for others make her special. I know very few children like Sophia, and I am thankful each day I see her. Her sparkle is bright, and she believes in positivity, always being kind, believing in herself and others, and never giving up. Here are a few of my favorite memories that I have observed with Sophia.
Might get teary here.
Just the other day, one of my students was unsure what to do, and it appeared that she did not have a friend nearby. Sophia saw the need, reached for the classmate's hand, and said, "Come with me." She has shared future endeavors with me that she wants to make bracelets to raise money for children with cancer. One afternoon during lunch, Sophia got up from her seat and asked a student who was having a hard day to come over and eat with her. Then later that day, she took the time to purposely check on that classmate, and she told me later that she tried to help her as much as she could. On another occasion, I heard Sophia say, "I wanted to be there for her." On the rare occasion when someone might be talking about somebody else, Sophia protects the privacy of other students by standing up for her classmates. Finally, she knew my mom was ill, and she made her a get well card on her own. So thoughtful. Sophia is kind, and her love of life, family, and people around her radiates from her personality. You have never seen a more infectious smile. Sophia's caring heart has room for everyone and everything. I sincerely hope that she and her family have as much pride in the actions described as I do. As Sophia continues to travel through life, may she pass on her optimistic lifestyle to all that she encounters.
Our next school tonight will be Stadium Drive Elementary, presented by Mr. Rob Murray, principal.
Good evening, everybody. We are so honored at Stadium Drive to have 3 lovely young ladies represent us tonight in Amira, Mia, and Maddie. And I know their teachers, Ms. Abraham Whited, Mr. Koviak, and Mrs. Perez, that have some awesome kind words to share with them now.
This is Maddie. You can tell a lot about a person by the way others respond to them, I think. And I just wanted to share a few little examples of how Maddie's classmates respond to her on a regular basis. Last week, she lost her tooth after wiggling it throughout the day, excitedly. And then when it finally popped out, she announced, "You know, I lost my tooth," and the whole class clapped and cheered. Another example is how Maddie, and I'm guilty of this too, and Ms. Ferment over there, we kind of struggle to hold back the floodgates when we read a book that moves us in class. Several classmates, however, are always prepared with Kleenex boxes, ready to hand Maddie one if they sense a sad part is coming up. Lastly, this afternoon, the kids wanted to hear the speech from Maddie, and I was telling the class that I just needed to finish the conclusion. And then several were inquiring about the details of tonight and asking if they could come, which was very sweet. So these little stories are a testament to who you are, Maddie. And to conclude, I thought of one of my favorite books, Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. And when I think of Maddie, I think of what Molly Lou's grandma always says. Smile big and the world will smile right alongside you. It reminds me of Maddie, because she's got a great smile. So thanks for being a good friend to all your classmates and for making me smile daily. You accept people for who they are. You're always there to help anyone in need, and you know how to look on the bright side. So congrats.
Well, it's never easy to pick just one optimist, as we've all seen. But again, as I presented it to the class for input for Amira, or for input from class, Amira's name came up over and over and over again. And when I think about Amira, it's the little things that Amira does that adds up to the big things. It's that quiet voice of encouragement to a friend, a helping hand to someone who's asking or appears stuck on something, a hand raised to share her thinking, a positive note to someone written on a sticky note. As one of her classmates puts it, she can take someone's bad day and just turn it around. I think she's a born leader, she's compassionate, she's intelligent, she's kind, she's positive, she's respectful, the list just goes on and on. There's not just one word to describe her. See, Amira, to me, is that one student who makes all the difference. She's the one who's not seeking attention, she just takes action and she does something. And I just want to thank you, Amira, for all the little things. And I'm really honored to be your teacher. You are quite an amazing young lady.
Hi, I'm Teresa Rakovic. I teach at Stadium, and this is Amelia or Mia Stewart, and we have nominated her to be our Optimist winner this year. And this year I discussed with my class what it means to be optimistic, and we brainstormed some things. And then I asked students to fill out on a slip a person that they feel displays that in our classroom. But I also like to ask, because it's easy to do what you're supposed to do in front of your teacher, but what about when you're on the playground? What about when you're in the lunchroom? What about when you're in other places? So I like to pose the question to her friends that see her in different areas. Is she respecting other teachers, other adults, other friends? And Mia's name came up over and over again, which says a lot. She does it because of who she is, not because of who's watching, which means a lot. So I asked the students to write some things down, and these are some of the things they said about you, Mia. Mia helps me. Mia has a positive attitude. Mia makes me feel happy. If I'm sad, she makes me not feel sad anymore. She stands up for me when I get in trouble, whatever that means. Mia is energetic and positive. She encourages others. And this one I agree with totally, and this has touched me since the first day that I met Mia, is that she always has a smile all the time. And in capital letters they wrote, never see her with a frown, ever. And I totally agree with that. And when I read these, it took me back to a story that I heard years ago about this young girl that was about Mia's age, around 4th grade, 9 or 10. And this girl had a disease or a condition where she could not smile. Her mouth was closed, it wouldn't open up very wide. And she was frustrated because they said she was like one out of hardly any that had this disease. But she decided to speak up about it because she felt frustrated that she couldn't share what was in the inside, her feelings, the good traits that she had. And she wanted people to know, only to find out there were many people like that. But what's so special about Mia is she has that all inside her, but she lets it out, and she shows it every day in our classroom. and it's such an honor to be her teacher. And Mia, I just want to tell you, keep smiling, keep sharing all that good stuff that's in you, because you're going to go far, Mia. I'm so proud of you.
The next school represented will be Weber Elementary by Principal Jennifer Goethals.
All right, save the best for last. All right, so I'd like to invite Ms. Amucci, Ms. Kyle, and Ms. Peruski up to announce our Weber Optimist. I get to nominate Weston Balzac from Weber Elementary. This is Mucci's class. And I just want to say that Weston is a wonderful boy who has a great outlook towards everything that comes his way. From the moment he entered our 4th grade classroom, Weston has always looked at the sunny side of things. He is always trying to cheer his peers up or understand why sometimes we have He's always trying to cheer his peers up or understand why sometimes we have consequences for our actions. I can always count on him to tell the truth. All of his peers respect him and admire the wealth of knowledge that he offers our classroom. As many of you know as teachers, we want our students to try out what we teach them. Weston does this all the time and in all subject areas. He constantly pushes himself in writing to try new concepts to make his writing better. He puts forth great effort on anything he does. For example, in science, he understands most of our concepts much easier than his peers. When pushed by myself or Mrs. Bohm, Weston always tries to break the concept down for his peers to understand by using common language or reteaching the concept to them. Weston chose to push himself academically by joining our Math Olympiad Club, which Mrs. Kyle can attest to. It's not an easy task. Weston's education is very important to him, and he works very hard to make sure he always gives his best. He takes whatever I say as gold and wants to meet all expectations immediately. I can trust Weston to communicate his day, my expectations, and requirements to his parents on a daily basis. Finally, Weston has a heart of gold. He cares so deeply about his family, especially his little sister. He is so excited to share her highs and celebrates them as his own accomplishments. I think Weston is a wonderful 4th grader, and I enjoy hearing his great ideas in our classroom. I appreciate the positive attitude he brings to our room, and I am so proud of this young man.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Kyle, 4th grade at Weber, and it's with honor that I get to nominate this beautiful young lady as the Optimist Award. This year, when I reread the Optimist Creed, Allison Goulas's name popped right in my mind. I decided to read the Creed to the class, and we talked about the Creed and discussed what type of characteristics an optimistic person would have. I asked my class to write the name of the person that they felt exemplified an optimist, and it was no surprise to me that Allison's name was the one that they chose. Allison works hard to help her peers to be successful. When she sees someone needing help, she jumps right in and helps them. Allison also jumps right in and helps me, whether it's passing out papers, sorting papers, organizing things in my classroom. She's there doing it for me and supporting me, which I really appreciate. As I have watched Allison help her peers this year, I have noticed a kind and caring way in which she guides them to find the correct answer, and then she praises them for their accomplishments. She makes her peers feel that they can accomplish the tasks and that she's proud of them. Allison truly wants them to be successful. You never hear Allison complain as she works on her own studies or helps those around her. I have never heard her say one negative word to anyone or about anyone. She builds her friends up and makes them feel important. Allison is also there with a smile on her face and a respect for all those around her. I can always count on Allison to do the best work possible. She actually goes above and beyond every day what is expected. She amazes me with her insight and her hard work. I feel Allison Gulas exemplifies an optimist, and it's with great pride that I nominate her for the Optimist Award.
Good evening. I nominated Genevieve Thurber for this award because of the amazing person that she is already, but more so because of the person that she is striving to be as she continues to mature. Genevieve has really learned this year not to sweat the small stuff. She's been presented with situations and she has chosen to put value into the important things and to actually let go of those little things that she doesn't have control over so that she can move on to bigger and better things, and she always does. Genevieve really is everyone's cheerleader, whether it's a teacher, a student, anybody in the building. She is so excited for others when they have a huge accomplishment. She's the first to congratulate students in class when they do well, and she loves to celebrate successes of those around her with a smile, maybe a kind saying, but she likes a good old-fashioned slap on the back, too. In addition, Genevieve has worked really hard to see her successes and to even celebrate her failures as an opportunity to continue her learning and growth as a person. Genevieve has had to overcome many obstacles throughout her life. She will be the first to admit that she has made mistakes in the past when it comes to her actions. But she has also owned those mistakes, and she has never ever let those mistakes define her as a person. Genevieve has a smile that lights up the room, a warm hug for those in need, or just a reminder that she's there for them. She cares for others, and she doesn't shy away from sharing her feelings. Genevieve is a true optimist at heart.
Could we have another round of applause for our Wagners? And students, could you give a hand for your folks and your families that are here tonight for you? And your teachers. With closing remarks right now, it's Orion Elementary Principal, Drew Tollerton.
So kids, I'm usually one of the last speakers, and that means I'm usually the last line before you get the special dinner or ice cream from your families. And if you haven't asked your families for ice, I see a lot of surprised looks. Make sure you ask for ice cream. Ice cream and special dinners. You're welcome, Mom and Dad, Grandma, Grandpa. Kids, I want to talk to you guys for a minute, and I want to share something with you. I want you to do me a favor to start. First, I want you to look down these first two rows at each other, and look behind you in front. And then I want you to look at everyone in this room. And what I want you to know is the impact that you have had on the people not only in this room, but in all of our schools here. And if you don't know the total numbers, we have 6 elementary schools that total thousands of kids, and the impact that you have made on our community already is huge. And sometimes, you know, in school, we know that you come here, you work hard, and as adults, sometimes it seems like we're teaching you about the academics and all the different things, but the truth of the matter is, kids, we learn more from you than you do from us. And the example that you have set for us, and the bar that you have set so high, is unreal. And some of the things that we've heard tonight across all of the speakers and all the schools and all of the students is it's all rooted in kindness. And without even thinking about it, each and every one of you has thought of other people before yourself. That's just who you are. And I've got news for you. That is not always the norm. That's hard to do, and that's just what you embody. And you wake up each and every day trying to make your school and your community a better place. And in turn, we are better because of that. And so I thank you, and on behalf of everyone in this room, thank each and every one of you for all that you have done and will continue to do. And I challenge you as well, because you still have a long way to go, and you have a lot of lives left to touch. And so don't ever lose that spirit that you have, and spread that to others and keep being the amazing people that you are. So on behalf of the entire Optimist Club, all of your teachers, your family, and your principals here tonight, I'd like to congratulate you and thank you for everything that you do to make our community a better place.
Our last order of business of tonight is the Optimist Creed, which will be led by Sandra McLeod and Julie Monroe. You can find the creed on the back of your program.
Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet, to make all your friends feel that there is something in them, to look on the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble.
All right, and with that, that concludes our program. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to come out this evening and celebrate all of our students and teachers. I appreciate your time as well. So thank you very much. There are some cookies in the back, and so help yourself. Thank you.